continue fighting for President Trump and this administration. Another announcement from President Trump. He says he'll be signing an order to make sure all Department of Homeland Security workers are getting paid during this partial government shutdown. That comes as the Senate has now passed a bill to partially reopen DHS. It does not include funding for ICE or Border Patrol. The plan is now at the House, where Republicans previously rejected it and passed a different version. Lawmakers there have adjourned until Monday, so it's not clear when or if they'll take it up.
Well, turning our attention locally now, a co-defendant in the Darius Luckey capital murder trial testified that Luckey was one of 3 people who fired at a home in West Mobile, killing 9-year-old Kaylee Knight.
Little Kaylee was sleeping on a couch in the living room of her home in West Mobile when she was shot in 2023. Today, prosecutors showing surveillance video from an apartment complex in 8 Mile. It apparently shows Luckey leaving before that shooting and coming back after. One clip reportedly shows him holding a rifle prosecutors say he used in the shooting.
Co-defendant Ricky Thayer testified that Luckey was one of the shooters. But Luckey's lawyers are questioning her credibility. They say she was high and drunk and that she cut a deal with prosecutors in exchange for her testimony. No video of the actual shooting exists.
Our Brendan Kirby is going to have a full breakdown on all of this for you in about an hour on Fox News at 5, including reaction from the DA, Keith Blackwood, and the defense.
More than $12 billion for Alabama students, teachers, and the education system passed the Senate earlier today. The 8-bill education package covers state funding for education at all levels. Alabama political correspondent Jessica Umbro joins us live outside of the Capitol. Jessica, what is in those 8 bills?
Well, it's a combination of funding for next fiscal year along with some supplemental funds for the current fiscal year that ends in September. Now, the core part of this package is House Bill 238. That's the Education Trust Fund budget for next fiscal year. The bill includes a 2% teacher pay raise and about half of the originally requested funding for the Public Education Employees Health Insurance Plan, or PHIP. The CHOOSE Act, the program that gives money to parents for non-public education expenses, is also getting a funding bump from $180 million last year to $250 million this year. Senators on both sides of the aisle say they feel like this year's education fund covers what it needs to.
Most all of our requests were reflected in the House passed version. Therefore, it may be boring for you, not a lot of high drama in the Senate, but there were very modest changes in the Senate version of the budget bill.
The education budget is a good education budget based on this economy where we are. It's amazing that we continue to still be able to spend the kind of money that we are spending on our education system.
Now, since this bill did have a few minor changes compared to what the House had passed last month, the House will have to concur with the changes that were made by the Senate or agree with them. I did speak to House Speaker Nathaniel Ledbetter. He did say that he feels pretty confident that this bill will get a concur vote from the House when they do come back next week. Live at the Capitol, Jessica Umbro, Fox 10 News.
All right, Jessica, thank you. Lawmakers have said they're anticipating working Tuesday through Thursday of next week, with Thursday being the final day of this year's session.
Taking a live look outside, your Friday Eve, the clouds are back, the warm temperatures as well, and we're still keeping an eye out for some showers.
Yeah, the way it's been this whole week, it looks like it could potentially sprinkle at any given moment. But let's get you an update on the forecast. If any of those showers are going to see the light of day here, Jason.
Yeah, today, very quiet, very dry. Tomorrow, doesn't look like much, but this weekend we could still see the potential of some significant rain on Easter Sunday. So, yeah, not the best timing. It looks like it could be wet by the second half of your holiday weekend. Here's what we're seeing out there right now. There's really not a drop of rain out there. We do have some showers just east of Conecuh County, but just a little bit of overhead cloud cover right now, and atmosphere is very stable. You can see these showers just to the east of Evergreen here outside the forecast area presently. We may see 1 or 2 showers spilling over into Conecuh County, far eastern Conecuh County around Brooklyn and Paul, or a little further up towards the Owasso area as we get into the forecast for the latter half of the evening. But other than that, it's going to be a dry one this evening. Temperatures are very warm. We will see some scattered clouds. Temperatures in the low 70s into the early part of the evening. Not not that cool tonight. We're going to be in the 60s for our overnight lows tonight. All eyes are on the weekend. It looks like that onshore flow will be with us dry on Friday. Rain chances are not zero on Saturday, but they're fairly low, only at about 20%. So we're not looking at a ton of rain Saturday. But Easter Sunday, here it comes. The showers moving into the forecast area along with some thunderstorms early Sunday morning, and that could continue through mid-morning. Definitely something that we're very closely watching because it looks like the timing on this could have an impact on Easter egg hunts and Easter Sunday services. We need the rain. We've got an extreme drought now over a good part of the northeast sections of the forecast area. Also severe drought occurring right now in Green, George, Mobile, and the Panhandle counties, as well as Baldwin County. So we may do some catching up, a little bit of catching up this weekend, and it may be our last shot at rain for a while too. We'll talk about Sunday in more detail coming up.
All right, Jason, thank you. Well, after a successful launch, the crew of Artemis 2 has a major decision to make today. Continue toward the moon or stay in Earth's orbit. Yeah, you're getting a live look now from Orion, and just pretty incredible. We were able to show you that launch yesterday, and this decision that we're talking about could send the astronauts deeper into space than anyone has gone before. Let's go to Brian Abel.
We circled it completely, and we forgot how beautiful it is to look down on Earth.
What a view for the 4-astronaut crew of NASA's Artemis 2. Safely into space after a successful launch of its historic mission.
And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon.
Before they get to their lunar destination, though, a series of maneuvering tests of their chariot, the Orion spacecraft. Then, a decision point this evening to boldly go where no one has gone before or not.
That puts us outbound to the moon. That's a real big commit point.
If they do choose to continue, the roughly 6-minute translunar injection burn will increase Orion's velocity by about 900 miles per hour, propelling the capsule out of Earth's orbit toward the moon. Then slingshotting it around our closest universal neighbor, where the crew will be in a space league of their own.
They're going much farther than the other crews have before. So this is really uncharted territory. It's really important because we've never been to that part. So you don't want to go somewhere you've never been. You don't know what the craters are like. So it's basically charting your way before you actually want to get there and land.
The mission testing our capacity for deeper exploration while inspiring a whole new generation.
I can't wait to see what this generation, the Artemis generation, drives from it.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
Wow. Well, just ahead of the Easter holiday weekend, drivers continue to feel the pain at the pump. Unfortunately, gas prices have jumped again, up another 2 cents, with the national average now at $4.08 a gallon. This is all according to AAA. The prices have been increasing all but for 3 days since United States and Israel launched a military attack against Iran. Since then, gas prices are up $1.08 a gallon. The biggest one-month climb since the Hurricane Katrina increase we saw in 2005, or after the sanctions on Russia following the invasion of Ukraine in 2022. That time, gas prices got as high as $5.02 a gallon.
All right, checking out the roadways right now around Daphne. We do have a lot of cars out there right now. Let's zoom into the Mobile area where we are seeing trouble, and it looks like going into the Wallace Tunnel here, traveling towards Baldwin County eastbound, we're starting to back up to about Broad Street. There are a lot of cars out there. A lot of this is pre-Easter weekend traffic going on, so we do have some delays. Also coming off the Cochran Bridge, it is slow trying to get onto I-10, and the Causeway westbound does look okay right now. And checking Pensacola, we do not have any major delays, but we'll watch the I-10, I-110 area as we get closer to the 5 o'clock rush hour. Already starting to see some delays on the roads.
All right, Jason, thank you. Listen to this. A group of high school students bringing some color and a little joy to USA Health's Children's and Women's Hospital. They're painting an interactive seek and find mural inside the pediatric ICU. What used to be a blank white wall is now turning into an under the sea scene designed to give sick kids and their families a little distraction and something fun to do as they move through the unit. The project started with Fairhope High Junior Gene Pearson, who says a tour of the hospital sparked the idea. This week, small groups of students have been coming in to paint a few hours at a time.
I think often white walls are sterile and scary, and I think this just provides a childlike atmosphere as well as the ability for our families to interact and play a game and spend a few normal minutes together.
We'll hear from the AP art student who made it all happen and take a closer look at the mural itself on Fox 10 News at 5.
Ahead on Fox News at 4, we're talking about an event based on connection, community, and women's health. How you can join the conversation in a live studio interview next. And parents in Bayou-Battery getting a hands-on lesson on keeping their babies safe. How today's community baby shower could help caregivers feel more confident about car seats, choking, and other emergencies before baby arrives. Taking a live look outside, you've got red flags at the beach. I can see some people in the water. You are asked to stay on the shore with the high surf out there. Thank you for watching Fox News at 4. Stay close. Welcome back. The Infirmary Foundation hosting the Celebration of Life Luncheon. It's a community event dedicated to supporting women's health. So we have two guests in the studio to talk about this initiative, Diana Brinson and Rachel Kidd. Thank you ladies both for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about this event and elaborate on what women can enjoy when they go.
Sure. So we've had Celebrate Life as a luncheon for several years now, and it's a great event. We usually have a really fun speaker. This year we have Molly Hardy. She's also known as Mahjong Molly.
Oh.
And she'll be talking about Mahjong, which is a quite popular game, and talking about strategy, the history, some of the things that she's been working on in the area of Mahjong. And ladies will have lunch, and then afterwards we're going to have an hour of free play for anyone who would like to play and learn from her.
Awesome.
Tips and tricks.
Mahjong is very popular these days. I don't know how to play, but I know a lot of people are. You know, this is all about creating a space where women can feel supported. Talk about your expertise and where you play in this event.
Well, we're just excited to be able to support it. As State Farm agents, we talk a whole lot about just protecting what matters most, and this is one of those community events that we just are really excited to be a part of. And it's more than just insurance. It's about supporting women in our community, and this event's going to be a good one. I'm excited.
Right. And we, during the event, we do a lot of education about programs and where women can plug in if they want to learn more. And it's raised a lot of valuable resources for breast center renovations and technology, our birth center, and we're even working in the space of rural health because there are a lot of women who have lost access to OB services. So we're doing a lot.
Before we get too far into it, I do want to talk about where people can register.
Sure, they can register on our website, Infirmary Foundation, and from there, they can register as a single or as a team of 4 or as a group of 4 if they want to bring friends. And if they have any questions, they can call our office. We'll get them set up.
Okay. So, and is there anything else you want to add, you know, from your perspective, and why women should really take advantage of this opportunity and come on out?
Just come out and support the community. I mean, build relationships. Let's meet everybody.
That's what Mahjong is really great at, is really building relationships.
Have you taken it up yet?
Yes.
Really?
I play once a week.
Really?
Almost every week. Not this week because I've got a race I'm playing and some other stuff. But yeah, every Tuesday.
It looks fun. It looks fun. I got to learn, so maybe you can teach me.
I'll be happy to. But it's going to be on April 30th, Thursday, April 30th at the Country Club of Mobile. So we hope everyone will come out and have a great time.
Awesome. Thank you ladies both for stopping by.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, we're going to have this information posted on foxntv.com so you can watch it and share it with someone you know, and also get the information for registration. Mark your calendar, grab a girlfriend, and go on out. We'll have this posted in the studio interview section shortly after this newscast.
All right, let's take a look outside right now with our Eastern Shore Toyota camera here, and it looks like in downtown Mobile, our Dolphins cam is doing pretty good, but we do have a slowdown of travel trying to get into the Wallace Tunnel. It is some pre-Easter weekend traffic going on, and we're going to continue to monitor traffic here on Fox 10 News. We've got some warm weather for 2 more days. Temperatures are going to be way above normal on Friday and Saturday. With some showers in the picture on Sunday and some clouds Monday, it will be a little cooler in the long range. Let's get the setup. First of all, right now, if you see some clouds out there, they're not producing rain. So after having 2 days with scattered showers in the picture, it is totally quiet out there right now. We do have some isolated showers just to the east of Conecuh County, but most of our area is bone dry this afternoon. It looks good in Mobile, Fairhope, Pensacola, and Gulf Shores. Our beach forecast remains to be very rough. We do not advise swimming at all. I've been seeing the live picture with some folks trying to get in the water, and it's just too rough to be swimming out there. We're going to see a high rip current risk through Saturday. On Sunday, we'll still have that rip current risk, and we're going to add rain into the picture with some cooler temperatures. Here's a look at what we have for the remainder of the evening on this Thursday. Temperatures dropping into the low 70s and then into the upper 60s overnight. Our Fox 10 Futurecast, we will see an onshore flow for the area overnight tonight and into tomorrow, and it's that southeast wind that causes the problems with the potential rip currents. It doesn't look like much rain on Saturday other than 1 or 2 isolated showers, but Sunday, here it comes. The graph Futurecast is showing a pretty good band of showers moving into the area early Sunday morning with some rain, some showers and storms continuing through mid-morning around church time, and this could affect church and Easter egg hunts on Easter Sunday, so plan ahead. Here's another opinion. Let's look at the GFS Futurecast, and again, it doesn't show much rain around on Saturday, but we could get a few spotty showers. Sunday, a band of rain moves in. It should be weakening as it comes in, but the rain lingers into the evening hours on Sunday, and it's interesting the GFS is still holding on to some moisture on Monday. We'll keep an isolated chance up on Monday just to be on the safe side. Here's a look at your forecast. Good Friday, 83 degrees tomorrow, warm and breezy. Saturday, 82 degrees with an isolated shower. Easter Sunday, rain chance is at 80%, and we really need the rain. If you don't get the rain you need on Easter Sunday, it may be a long time before we get another system in here. Long range looks very dry into next week and beyond. So that's our forecast. Warmer then wetter by Easter Sunday.
Expecting parents and caregivers had a great opportunity this morning to learn about infant safety during a community baby shower in Bayou La Battery. Fox 10's Stephen Moody has more on this important lesson learned and how they were able to take advantage of this opportunity.
The Alabama Cooperative Extension System hosting a community baby shower designed to help families get a safe start with their little ones. With the theme April Showers Bring Safe Little Flowers, attendees took part in infant safety workshops while also receiving free baby items and participating in giveaways.
I wish I had this for me when I was pregnant. That's a motivating factor in it, just the infant choking safety and the car seat safety. You think you're doing everything right, but it just gives those parents, especially first-time moms, a boost and like, yeah, I got this. Or even people who haven't done it in a while.
It's a partnership between Alabama A&M University and Auburn University. They work with communities just like ours to provide these resources.
It's challenging. There's a lot of things that can be intimidating, and so we're a resource with a lot of our partners to ensure that we are providing good information to help young mothers here in Alabama.
And it was a welcoming environment as well, making this a fun and educational event for expecting parents and caregivers in the community.
I hope that they learn something, of course, and just learn about all the wonderful resources we have in Mobile County and that we're all here to support them in their journey. We're here now and we'll continue to be here.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
When we come back, HBO Max is saying thank you to healthcare workers with a free night at the movies. We've got the details in your entertainment news next. Just in time for your entertainment news, breaking news out of Hollywood, a story we've been covering for a while now. Finally, Blake Lively's sexual harassment claims against Justin Baldoni, a decision has been made, and the judge has decided to toss those claims out.
This has been going on for such a long time, and I kind of feel as though it overshadowed the movie, which really at its core touched on a very important and sensitive topic.
Yeah, it's very sad. I think that this did overshadow that because, again, like you said, the movie was about domestic violence and getting out of those situations, and so then you've got this all in the mix. I will say, though, that the 2 retaliation claims were left intact by the judge.
So it's not over.
Not over yet.
Yeah.
So something we will continue to
Breaking
follow.
news there. All right.
Also today, newly released body cam video from police on Tiger Woods' rollover crash last Friday shows the golf legend at the scene, and you can see him kneeling next to the road where his SUV flipped over after striking the trailer of another vehicle on Jupiter Island, Florida. Police say Woods was not hurt.
And that's important. No one was hurt. He denied having alcohol and he passed the breathalyzer test. Police say they did find hydrocodone pills in his pocket and that he failed a field sobriety test. The 50-year-old telling officers he was distracted with his cell phone and changing the radio station. He refused a urine test after being arrested.
He has pled not guilty to DUI charges and is due in court May 5th. Woods was involved in another rollover crash in 2021 and was arrested for DUI suspicion in 2017. He did make a public statement, which I wonder how this will bode with that case, basically saying he was going to get help and do the things, you know, he needs to do moving forward to be a healthier person.
Much like the statement he released the last time that he was hurt, and he did seek that help. So, you know, we'll see how this plays out in court, and hopefully he does get the help that he says that he needs.
Absolutely. Well, healthcare workers are getting a special thank you from HBO Max.
Guess what?
What?
I just started watching this.
Oh.
Just like I have not even, just episode 1. The streamer and Warner Brothers Television, they're teaming up with Alamo Drafthouse. That's for a nationwide screening of the Pitt season 2 finale. So this is going to be open to active and retired healthcare professionals. It's going to be April 13th at select locations. And here's the important part. It's only in New York, LA, and Boston, but you know those places are going to be packed out.
Yeah. Yes. Some of the biggest hospitals in those cities. Yeah, and I've heard this show is really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
You just started it.
I just started episode 1, season 1.
Okay. You're going to have to keep us along the way. Let us know how it is. I want to watch it eventually. It's, as you say, on my list.
Yes.
All right. Next up, we're going to dive into those big breaking stories headlining your news at 5.
And then this.
How can we help pay for a car? What if you get a ticket? If you put that in their mind at a young age, as it gets closer, those conversations of maybe you don't get your own car.
Adding a teen driver to your insurance can really send that bill up. Next, the surprising new numbers and one way to help cut the cost.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 News.
The Fox 10 crews are working behind the scenes on your breaking news updates and follow-ups for your news at 5.
Mobile Mayor Spiro Tiragatis is expanding the critical repair grant program for the city. How this expansion can help low-income families ahead of hurricane season.
And in Baldwin County, in Spanish Fort specifically, new emergency equipment is being installed in 3 new parks. We're going to talk about the new equipment, how it empowers the community to look out for their fellow neighbor when a crisis happens. And also in Baldwin County, a student getting a big acceptance into the Air Force Academy. How about that? You're going to hear from her as she talks about what it means. That is coming up in less than 30 minutes tonight at 5.
All right, taking a look out at downtown Mobile with our Admiral camera here, sponsored by Eastern Shore Toyota. We are seeing delays getting into the Wallace Tunnel. We'll have a traffic update coming up, but this is that pre-Easter weekend traffic already kicking up there on our Thursday. As we're rolling into the forecast, the big story is just how dry it is, and this causes issues for more than just your yard or your garden, but of course the farmers too, and the pollen count is high because of the dry conditions. And we're in a level 3 severe drought across the entire panhandle and a good portion of Baldwin County, parts of Mobile County, all of George County, where we got a little rain yesterday, and it's an extreme drought up I-65. So we continue to see the drought conditions expanding. There is the hope for a little temporary relief this weekend. Unfortunately, it may come in time for Easter Sunday and church services with some rain. This afternoon, we're not seeing much on radar. It's pretty quiet. There are some clouds in the area, but it looks like most of the area is rain-free this afternoon. Mobile County, Baldwin County. We'll keep an eye on things. There are a few isolated showers just to our east. And looking at tomorrow's day planner for Pensacola, we'll start out in the upper 60s, warm up into the mid 70s, and we'll see a pretty strong breeze out of the southeast tomorrow. That's going to keep our rip current risk high at area beaches, rough surf there. In Mobile tomorrow, it will be substantially warmer, morning clouds, afternoon sun, and temperatures above 80 again for tomorrow. Long range, as we look through Good Friday and into the weekend, dry tomorrow, maybe an isolated shower Saturday, a couple of really warm days with highs in the low 80s. And then we've got that 80% rain chance on Easter Sunday with cooler temperatures and a good shot at showers. We'll have a more detailed look at that Sunday forecast with your Futurecast modeling coming up.
Get ready for quite the shock if you're getting ready to add a teen driver to your insurance. New data from Bankrate shows just how much more you could be paying. Consumer investigator Rachel DePompa is explaining all of it in this Watching Your Wallet.
It's a rite of passage. You turn 16, you learn to drive. But parents, listen up. According to data from Bankrate, the average rate for full coverage insurance for a 16-year-old on their parents' policy is $5,740 a year, a nearly $700 increase from the same time period in 2023. Shannon Martin with Bankrate says that means mom and dads have to find almost an extra $270 each month so that their teen can drive one of the cars on the policy.
So it used to be that, of course, you get a license when you're 16, but maybe we should stop and think about it and have those financial conversations with our children when they're 13. What does it mean to have a car? How can we help pay for a car? What if you get a ticket? If you put that in their mind at a young age, as it gets closer, those conversations of maybe you don't get your own car, maybe we have to wait for you to get your license, those become easier because they're aware of the finances around the responsibility of driving.
Martin says insurance companies also use driving behavior to help set rates. As an adult, they have a lot to pull from. A teen, though, is a blank slate.
They don't have any data to understand what kind of driver your teenager will be. So they have to look at crash test data that's broken up over age categories that groups teens into categories with other teens. And that data shows that teenagers are more likely to have accidents, and the accidents that they have are going to be more severe, which is why they cost so much to be added to a policy.
Martin says a new teen driver actually costs about $450 more per year than the average adult driver with a DUI on their record. She says shopping around for a new insurance policy can help you cut costs when you're adding a new teen driver. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
We have a safety alert to talk about now. The USDA says certain packages of dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets could contain lead. This pertains to the Walmart Great Value brand nuggets. The 28-ounce bags contain 36 nuggets, and they were shipped to Walmart stores around the country. The USDA saying the products are no longer in stores. However, you might have it in your freezer, so check for that. Lead exposure, as you know, is very harmful to pregnant women, infants, and young children. The FSI's website has more details identifying the product. That includes the lot code and establishment number.
The American Heart Association releasing new nutrition guidance this week, and some of it is at odds with the dietary guidelines from the Trump administration. The AHA recommends a diet full of veggies, fruits, and whole grains and prioritizes plant-based proteins over meat options, all while replacing whole milk with non-fat and low-fat dairy options. Though earlier this year, the Trump administration encouraged Americans to start drinking whole milk. The federal government also recommends the consumption of red meat, while the AHA says people should choose leaner and smaller portion cuts of meat. Both agree ultra-processed foods should be avoided and sugar should be consumed less. A spokesperson from the Food and Drug Administration says they look forward to working with the AHA.
Back in November, I told you about the Landrum family who lost their 13-year-old daughter, Zoe Grace, to sudden cardiac arrest and how they turned that pain into purpose. Their goal was to bring free heart screenings to her classmates and also other students at Satsuma High School. They did exactly that and then some. 104 students were screened. We're talking CPR training being offered for the students and parents, grandparents too. 4 students left with cardiac findings they never knew existed, conditions that can now be treated or monitored. Shannon Landrum calls this a huge success, and so do we. The Live Like Zoe Grace Foundation is already planning the next event. For more information, head to fox10tv.com.
That is truly incredible. Wow, love that story. Unintentional injuries remain a leading cause of death among U.S. children through age 17. And while firearms are a leading injury cause, new research out today shows there's another danger lurking in homes, continuing to send young children to the ER. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has a look at the latest data and the message researchers want every parent to hear.
It's not a new danger, but new data shows household cleaning products remain a major risk to curious young children.
They can be harmful. They can be dangerous. They can be deadly, depending on what it is and how much might be ingested.
Dr. Lara McKenzie with Nationwide Children's Hospital is one of the authors of this study just published in the medical journal Pediatrics. The researchers combed through 16 years of data and found more than an estimated 240,800 U.S. emergency room visits for children 5 years and younger linked to injuries from household cleaning products. McKenzie says that's one injury every 35 minutes.
People have a lot of products in their house. Kids spend a lot of time at home, especially, very young children. So it's kind of like the perfect storm.
McKenzie says hospitalizations for household cleaner-linked injuries have risen by 1.5% over about 2 decades. Bleach, detergent, especially detergent pods, are the products that most commonly lead to those injuries, but parents can help prevent children from being hurt.
The best thing to do is store those cleaning products in their original containers, but up high, out of sight, and out of reach, preferably in a locked cabinet or closet.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Pesky seagulls stealing your snacks at the beach. A study indicates a simple trick can help keep your snacks safe. How a reporter tested it out. That's an assignment. That's coming up next. Aw, the feeling is mutual, Bayside. Students at Bayside Academy with a special visitor yesterday. Fox 10's meteorologist Hannah Fink stopped by to talk all things weather, from thunderstorms to hurricanes. The students, she says, were full of questions, full of energy, and clearly full of gratitude. We loved every second of it. Our thanks to Miss Etheridge for sharing her class with Fox 10. Hannah had a great time there.
All right, here's what we're seeing on our satellite radar picture right now, and mostly just bands of clouds, not a lot of rain around. There are a few isolated showers here to the north of the forecast area. It looks like a little something trying to form up near Highway 225 again today, but further up into Clark County, we've seen a few sprinkles. It looks like we just got a shower there around Dixie Landing. It's about to cross over the Alabama River and end up close to Gainestown or Choctaw Bluff, and just little small showers out there. Our futurecast looks really quiet. We've got a stable atmosphere, so any isolated showers we have won't last long today. Tomorrow, we expect to see pretty quiet weather. Saturday, we might see an isolated shower, but our rain chances are low. And then Easter Sunday, we've been talking about this a lot. And right now, it still looks like the computer models are suggesting a pretty good band of rain around, even Sunday morning around church time. So it is possible that we get some rain showers in the area on Easter Sunday. The GFS model backs up that idea as well, with spotty showers on Saturday. And then here it comes. Sunday morning, rain showers move in, and they could linger near the coast into Sunday evening. Clouds should linger on Monday, and we may see an isolated shower there. Good Friday is dry and warm. Saturday, isolated showers in 82. The rip current risk will remain high at area beaches, and the Gulf will be rough through Sunday. Our rain chance on Easter Sunday, unfortunately, is 80%, and then it starts to get a little better. Next week, we'll struggle with clouds and cool temperatures Monday, and temperatures start warming back up again with dry conditions through the middle of the week.
Seagulls ripping snacks from under you. Has that happened?
Yeah.
You've had one take one right from you?
Oh, yeah. You accidentally drop a Cheeto or you leave the bag open and they're tee.
A new study from the UK says googly eyes on a bag of goods could keep those birds from snatching your food. I've never had that happen.
That's interesting. This trick.
Those little eyes?
Yeah, it's kind of like a scarecrow in, a garden.
It would give me pause.
Okay. Fox's Danielle Zalowski went to the beach armed with a bag of chips and 2 googly eyes to see if it really works.
Researchers at the University of Exeter found if you want to keep your lunch, it just needs to stare back at the birds.
If you look at them straight in the eyes, they want to turn away.
It was an interesting theory to test. So I put googly eyes on this bag of Cheetos and kept the bag sealed and started shaking it on the beach. And despite showing the birds the googly eyes, they swarmed me.
I don't know if that's the most effective way to prevent them from getting food off the beach.
The study says googly eyes on plain food boxes kept the gulls away about 50% of the time when they were foraging. But one beachgoer says the color of the bag could lead to the birds bothering you for a snack.
They like red, orange. Any red-orange bag comes out, they will swarm over your heads.
Now, the study focused on European herring gulls, which are rarely found in Florida. But the message from bird advocates remains the same.
We should not be feeding wild animals, wild birds, people food. It's not healthy for them.
A volunteer with Birds in Helping Hands says there are more effective ways to protect your food.
Sealed containers like a canvas bag or a Ziploc bag or, the ones you get, the containers you'd have from takeout that have plastic covers. They're closed, and put them inside and away so that they don't see it.
You can also sit under an umbrella or tent to prevent the birds from diving in and stealing the food out of your hands.
They attack. They will grab the bags and rip, poke, tear, and try to find out what's inside. They know what's going on. They're birds. They got bird brains, but they know where the food is.
And it's important that you do. When I got to the beach, this flock of gulls managed to open up a plastic Target bag and eat an entire box of Cheez-Its.
My family were having a good time at the beach, and when we came back for our lunch, our Jersey Mike's sub was completely gone. It unraveled our sandwich and took all of it.
It is important to know it's illegal to purposely feed wildlife like seagulls on the beach. Danielle Zolkowski, Fox 13 News.
All right, let's look at the traffic tracker. And we have problems at the Wallace Tunnel, especially here ahead of a holiday weekend with the traffic slowing down here from Broad Street all the way up into the tunnel eastbound. Also westbound seeing a little small delay, but it looks like eastbound slow even on the Bayway itself. It's also starting to back up on Government Street. I'll have a full report of traffic coming up on Fox 10 News at 5.
All right, Jason, we will see you then. Well, this afternoon, the Mobile Police Department and Mobile Fire Rescue Department paraded through the parking lot at USA Health Children's and Women's Hospital to show support for the baby girl firefighters helped deliver. You may remember we did the story March 22nd while working a scene just nearby.
Look at the turnout there. The parade was also for the children, the families, healthcare workers at USA with Easter weekend coming up. The Department of Public Safety wants the community to know they are standing behind them today and every day, that we're stronger together and when we rally behind those who need the encouragement most.
I was at the hospital filming my other story for 5.
Bet you saw this.
And I saw the tail end of this. So very cool there.
All right, a pair of snorkeling scientists discover a fossil-filled underwater cave, and a crafty crow crushes a color matching quiz. That's in today's Take a Look at This.
An unexpected discovery of a fossil-filled underwater cave has led to a slew of questions about what ice age animals were once in Texas, where they were, and why.
Jeremy Roth has the story in today's Take a Look at This.
A pair of snorkeling scientists found an underground fossil-filled cave leading to unprecedented paleontological discoveries in central Texas. According to the University of Texas at Austin, the scientists gained access to a previously unmapped cave on private property and snorkeled through underwater streams, leading to an area brimming with undisturbed fossils. It was there, according to a study published in the journal Quaternary Research, that co-authors John Moretti and John Young discovered, among dozens of fossils, the remains of a giant tortoise and a relative of the armadillo the size of a lion. The study says the remains of those Ice Age animals, dating back some 100,000 years, had never previously been found in central Texas before and have raised new questions about what is known about the region's geological and climatic past. From some scintillating snorkeling science to a game of underwater tag. Video shared by the nonprofit Ocean Alliance shows the organization's use of aerial drones, affectionately known as snotbots, to drop sticky suction-cupped tags on wild whales from above. The tags feature wireless cameras and various sensors, allowing researchers to track the mammal's movements, gather critical data, and simply watch in wonderment from a respectful distance. Finally, let's give some respect to the big brain on this bird, who is seen acing a quizzical color match game put on by handlers at the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden. The zoo says crows have a level of intelligence that rivals apes in some tasks, allowing them to solve complex problems. This one even corrects a mistake she made. I mean, not to brag, but I also took a stab at the same game and also aced it. Eventually. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Our Shelby Myers stopping by to see the progress.
What a neat idea, Shelby. How does it look?
Well, it is looking great, Lenise and Cameron, and it's almost finished and very quickly, too. What started as one student's idea has turned into a huge under-the-sea scene designed to help kids and families have a little distraction during a really tough time. From a blank wall to a burst of color. In the pediatric ICU at Children's and Women's Hospital, this hallway used to be just that, a hallway. Now it's becoming an interactive seek and find mural made to help kids feel more at ease.
I think often white walls are sterile and scary, and I think this just provides a childlike atmosphere as well as the for our families to interact and play a game and spend a few normal minutes together.
The project started with Fairhope High Junior Jean Pearson. She's part of Create for Kids, a club that sends cards and care packages to patients. But after a tour of the hospital, she wanted to do something bigger.
And she was taking me around and she was like, oh yeah, and we have this wall and I kind of wanted to have something painted on it. And she was like, I wanted it to be a seek and find. And I was like, well, that's really great because I do art and I would love to maybe make that work for you. And I could use members from my club and I could also use some art students. And I think we could bring something really cool to life.
Her principal and AP art teacher quickly signed off on the project.
I was in disbelief. I said, I've never had a student approach me with a large project like this before. And so immediately she runs to the principal. She said, can we do this? He said, of course we can. So we get everything lined up. And overnight we put together this field trip. And it's been wonderful working together.
Jean designed the under the sea scene on her iPad and then traced it on the wall before prom Saturday. All week, small groups of students and a faculty chaperone have taken turns at the hospital, painting a few hours at a time.
Since the first day we've been here and we've seen people getting wheeled through this hallway, I can imagine that it would be a lot more comforting to see something to your left and being able to interact with something before you maybe go in for anesthesia. And I've just been so happy with the response.
Such a fun project. And Jean says they hope to wrap it up by this weekend, which is really quick, a week for some high school students, and they got it done. In the studio tonight, Shelby Myers, Fox 10 News.
Shelby, thank you.